Adventurous thing I've ever done while traveling. Probably the tour that I did when I was still a traveling burlesque performer, the tour that I did through Europe as a solo performer. I think I was 23, started in London, made my way to Germany, doing Berlin and Hamburg, and then over to Prague and Vienna and Budapest and finishing in Milan and then Paris. It was a rush, and it was a very different kind of experience when you're out there for showbiz versus just pleasure. So I would say that's the most adventurous thing I've ever done travel wise. When it comes to traveling, I shockingly, I like traveling solo. It sounds wild, right? And kind of intimidating, especially if you're going somewhere where you don't know the language or you don't really have much of a network there. But I had a really great experience traveling independently to Amsterdam. And there's something very sacred about being able to explore new surroundings without the effect of other people's opinions or being a people pleaser, without having to worry, is everyone having a good time, is everyone enjoying themselves? I like exploring solo. I found my mind blown on a trip that I took to Alaska. Shockingly, I went to Alaska when I was still reporting for Naked News, and I remember arriving there and just taking in a landscape that was so much more diverse than my silly, simple mind had ever given it credit to be. I always thought Alaska would just be, quite barren and snow and ice. And maybe it was just the month that we were there, but there was so much greenery and there was such a community vibe in the many ports that we stopped in along the way on this cruise. I was really impressed with Alaska. Shockingly, it kind of blew my mind. Why did I decide to join CAM4 on this below deck experience? I mean, first and foremost, I have always wanted to be on a reality TV show. I thought it would be heaps and heaps of fun. It's a wild, very unconventional kind of vacation, because it was about experiencing the height of luxury. The yacht was the most expensive piece of accommodation I've ever stayed in. The specifications that we made as to what we wanted to be included, whether it was a menu item, whether it was an activity, I've never been catered to like that. So I wanted to join CAM4 to go on this adventure, knowing it was going to be unforgettable, but also knowing that I was going to be joined by people that I had formed quite a serious bond with digitally. During the pandemic, I really got close to a lot of the broadcasters and the team members on the management and corporate side of CAM4. And I was very excited to kind of get everyone under one roof for something totally wild and unpredictable, which it was. So satisfied for sure. My experience on the yacht. Well, I am not a boat person. Let it be known, I have always had a very big fear, panic feeling inside of me about being on a boat and on open water. I'm okay with something smaller like a riverboat, but the ocean is a cruel mistress. The ocean is more powerful than you can ever fucking imagine. The ocean is relentless. It doesn't care that you're trying to exist on it. It's going to do what it wants to do. So my experience on the yacht, as blown away as I was at just how magnificent and expensive it all was, I did very quickly realize, yeah, I can feel the movement. Yeah, I can feel that we've lifted our anchor and are drifting further from land. So that was an adjustment process for me, and it was quite a scary one. I remember a couple of times bothering a lot of the deckhands and bothering the captain, asking people, "Do you guys feel that? Like I was so nervous about feeling the gentle swing of the boat, and it was Sky that actually said to me on our first evening, yeah, it's just like a gentle rocking. You kind of just have to go with it. And I was so resisting it that it made it a little bit scary to get used to. But that's where, seasick medications really helped me out. And then it was all groovy, party time. Okay, this is gonna sound so dorky and emotional and like sentimental, but my favorite part of the yacht charter was actually the last few hours that we had when we were making our way back to land. And I remember sitting at the very back of the boat and just looking out at the expanse of ocean all the way to that very definitive line where it starts to become sky. And it was emotional. It was profound. It was otherworldly, looking at just how beautiful and how massive our world is. I mean, there were moments that it felt like Jurassic Park as we're going past these floating islands, and the sky and the clouds were so huge. It was so cinematic that um, I'll never forget that. And of course, there was that feeling of safety that we were heading back to land, but also a grand sense of accomplishment that, like, yeah, we did it. We survived it. We made memories. We are closer because of this experience. It was fucking emotional at that point. And I'm a sucker for emotional swings. I love them. I run towards them. So that was definitely, I think, my favorite part. Of course, I had interaction with all of the deckhands and with the captain. I tried to have a special moment with everybody. You know, I'm a bit of a star fucker. I get very excited being around people that are anywhere on the scale of celebrity. So, yeah, of course, I had a personal moment with all of them, both on and off camera. It was great. It was really exciting to have a moment passing Culver in a hallway where there weren't any cameras, and we had the chance to just kind of be human for a second and smile and blush and giggle and run back to whatever we were doing, or finding Aisha in a moment by herself and just letting her know that I'm really grateful for everything that she's done to make it so magical. The captain, however, the captain was trying his absolute hardest to resist me, and I felt it the whole experience. He was so zipped up. He was so, I don't know, like a lone wolf. And that kind of persona, it welcomes all kinds of mystery that I want to get to the bottom of. But, I respected that he had a very lofty position on our journey and he had to keep us safe. But there was a couple moments in the evenings where I thought, while this boat is rocking, maybe I can just go a knocking on his door and ask him to, help me through the ebbs and flows of the evil ocean. But no, I resisted my temptation. But I liked his mystery. So yeah, I had great interaction with everybody. I was considering taking the leap into webcamming, and CAM4 was a name that came with so much love and such a great reputation from other existing broadcasters that I had been kind of weighing my options with. I'm also really I'm partial to a company that prioritizes their community and caring for their community. And CAM4 does that so beautifully with our CAM4 Cares initiative. And very early in my experience with them, I was always met with such support from the management team, from the coaching side. It's my needs, my requests, my questions and curiosities have been handled with compassion, and I love the support that I have. If I'm having a rough day and I'm on CAM4, it's strange. I don't know who flies the bat signal, but someone usually comes in, even just to chat. One of my many friends in the CAM4 community comes in, even just to chat and make it such a wonderful experience. So that was, a wonderful surprise after hearing about the good reputation of CAM4, signing up and then experiencing it for myself. I have a lot of connections with both creators on the platform and my viewers. And that's what's so fucking cool is that we connect with each other outside of the platform on our regular social media. I've met some really incredible friends that are now part of a global network. I mean, for example, Bicop, who I would never meet in this lifetime were it not for CAM4. I mean, he's all the way in Portugal, but we talk on the regular because he is such a beautiful person. And I've interviewed him a number of times. I love the friends that I've made on this platform. I mean, everyone from Jean to I Was Soaking to Lush Librarian to Pillow Princess to Sky Knox, who has become my fucking bestie. I'm dazzled by the like-minded individuals that have made their way into my life. And the viewers, wow, there are some very dedicated people on this platform, and they will come in. Sailor Boy 444, you always brighten my day. Hancock Hottie, you're always there to cheer us on. Mama Craze, where would I be without you? John Mark James, I sing your name every time you come in. Super Tramp, I cannot stop singing Supertramp when I see your name enter my chat room. So yeah, that's some love. Rayness, I have endless love for you in my brewing potion. What sets CAM4 apart from any other community? Probably the CAM4 Cares initiative sets it apart from any other community that exists. I mean, CAM4 has done such a darn good job at developing these other aspects of their company that offer a lot of insight for people to learn to be more successful in their ambition as a broadcaster. CAM4 has just done a phenomenal job at pumping out other forms of content that carry their name and, of course, grant people a real perspective on the things that they're doing and the excitement they have for this industry. The feedback that sticks with me is always about the conversations people have with me online, because obviously it's very easy to say, you're hot. It's so fun to watch you because you're sexy. But when viewers come in and they talk about, the conversation and how much it's of value to them, that's when I remember them. That's when I feel very special because I try and offer conversation. That's why we're doing this live and why we're hosting a space to connect, because it's a chance to converse, to share ourselves and to learn about, the different opinions and life experience that we all come from. So that to me that's memorable. I try and keep a very rigid schedule in the desire to balance my life. It's hard, but I find that if I agree to cam, say 2 or 3 days a week from very fixed hours, then I know that I only need to put my makeup on for those days. I don't always put my makeup on though. But scheduling is major for me. I try and keep my own office hours and not exceed them, because then when I let the, inmates run the prison, and the inmates is my absolute desire to continue making connections in life, it can be dangerous. And you need to put limits to that so that you make time to preserve sanity and self-love and connect with yourself in a very real, personal way, an intimate way with myself. That's really important. So scheduling is everything. Being a part of the CAM4 community has introduced me to so many incredible people around the world that share my personal philosophy of authenticity, of sex positivity, of leading a life that prioritizes pleasure, of not feeling a shame around my own preferences, be them sexual or just general life preferences. It's given me a grand understanding of the lives other people are leading And I've become a lot more in tune with humanity because of this. Because so many other moments in life were just spent keeping to ourselves. And when we're on camera and we're interacting with people in that live moment that come to us from around the world and often come to us anonymously, there's this opportunity to be very, very real. It's also helped me develop my own conversation skills. So I've learned to be a lot more um, open to other people. And I'm grateful for that. I would absolutely recommend CAM4 to other people. Just the coaching program alone. If you're apprehensive about not knowing what it takes to do this job, there are so many individuals on the platform that are ready to receive your questions and walk you through it. The coaching program is just so brilliant and so loving. But CAM4 itself is an awesome program because there's so many other ways to be showcased when you're a part of this community. I mean, we have our CAM4 Happy Hour show, which is a really fun variety show that's almost like entering an actor's studio workshop experience. You're asked to step into a very creative realm and perform in very improvisational ways. So everyone who joins the Happy Hour show gets this really great opportunity to kind of flex their muscles in new ways and think creatively. It's very inspiring, and I love that. But we also have a number of podcasts and interview opportunities that showcase you, a broadcaster on this platform. So I will always recommend CAM4. The more years that I put into the adult industry, the more I realize how massive there is a misconception that the general public has about the people that make up the adult industry, whether you're a cam broadcaster or a porn performer or adjacent on the production side of things, on the tech and development side of things. I realize that there is a very real and damaging stigma as to who we are and what must have happened to us to lead us down this path. So I wanted to share my story to break down a lot of that taboo and show people of the world, the general public, that we are like everyone else. We're creative, we're brilliant, we are brave, we are so deeply compassionate, we are beautifully community minded. We really support each other because we're aware of how big this misconception is. So we support each other in very beautiful ways that I think the rest of the world could learn from if they implemented even a fucking percent of the love that we have for the rest of our community. I wanted the world to see that this is a job like anything else, and that we are capable of so much more than the general public gives us opportunity to be, and that we are incredibly valuable and intelligent in the most sensational ways. Anything I was nervous about? Okay, yeah, you know what I was nervous about? Feeling seasick. It's amazing that that level of fear was present because there's so many other things about how I lead my life that seem scarier. Like, oh, I take my clothes off on camera for strangers around the world. That doesn't scare me. Being out on the open water during storm season, seeing how much that thing would swing, yeah, that scared the shit out of me. Knowing that I'd be far from land and that if anything major really did happen, fuck, how would I get to safety? You can't stop the moving of the ocean when you're on the boat. You gotta just push through it, endure, acclimatize, adjust. It was nuts. But yeah, I had a really chic suite. So any moments of panic I got to experience like a old film starlet in Hollywood's golden years and just faint across my fainting couch, or lounge across the high quality Egyptian cotton that made up my bedding. Woe is me. We got over that bullshit real quick. I have done paddleboarding in my life. I've done kayaking. Never in this setting, never in Australia. So I was excited to do those things, but I knew it would feel fresh. Um, I've never been on a reality TV show of this size. I would say that was um, pretty new to me. I've definitely been on camera, so I knew little things like to hold my posture as best I can and maybe watch what I say. But then again, there was also alcohol flowing, so that became quite a challenge. This experience was delicious. This experience was wild. This experience was luxury. It was incredible. It was cinematic. I can't even find the best word for it.